JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Crime Stop explains how the process works. Crime Stop is a partnership between the community, the police, and the media designed to involve the public in the fight against crime. Crime Stop encourages the public to give information by offering total anonymity to all callers, and for those who wish, a cash reward for information that leads to an arrest, recovery of stolen property, or the seizure of illegal drugs or guns. Sharice Bruce Douglas, manager for Crime Stop Jamaica, explains payouts.
Hi, I'm Sharice Bruce Douglas, manager of Crime Stop Jamaica. Here at Crime Stop, we take information from anonymous sources, meaning we don't know who our sources are, we don't know their names, we don't know their identity. We encourage persons to call our 311 tip line and give information on all forms of criminal activities. We pay out rewards for successes, meaning an arrest on charge or seizure. So to give you an idea of how much we pay out with regards to rewards, for a seizure of an illegal firearm, for a pistol, we pay 100,000. For a shotgun, we pay 100,000. For a seizure of a rifle, we pay out 150,000. For a seizure of a revolver, we pay out 75,000. If there's an arrest and charge, for instance, of a wanted person, depending on the charge, if it's murder, we pay 250,000. If it's shooting with intent, we pay out 100 to 150,000. It really does depend on the success. But just put it this way, once it's a success, we pay out the reward. There are oftentimes persons ask, how do I collect my reward without you knowing who I am? We pay through a disbursement agency. We use a two-step authentication process that will withhold your identity, but you're able to collect safely and securely. So we'll encourage persons to give information through our tip line or 311 tip line, because we don't know who you are. The minimum amount that we pay out is $5,000, and we would pay out for a small seizure of marijuana, for instance. So, and we don't have any cap to how much rewards is paid out. So again, we encourage persons, if you know something, say something without revealing who you are.
No murder recorded in Jamaica on Sunday. It's the second time in just over a month that the police are reporting a 24-hour period without a single homicide. The last load in murders was recorded between 5:45 p.m. on May 5 and 5:45 p.m. on May 6. Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, head of Area 5 Police, made the announcement at the Thanksgiving ceremony for 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon on Monday, challenging the public to work with the police in taking decisive action to weed out offenders.
Continue to pray for the nation. We had a murder-free day in Jamaica, and the police are celebrating. I stand before you still with a heavy heart to pay tribute to the life of Kelsey. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that our children feel safe, loved, and protected. We are prioritizing and paying special attention, extraordinary attention to every single case involving our children. You saw that we were committed to conducting a thorough and diligent investigation into Kelsey's murder. And there was no doubt around our findings as to the person who is responsible. Crime cannot flourish in a community that cares.
Several volatile communities have maintained a zero murder record for an extended period, including Norwood in St. James and Greenwich Farm in St. Andrew. The lull also comes amid sweeping weapons and ammunition seizures by the police. If the current trends continue, the National Security Ministry anticipates that the country could end 2025 with fewer than 800 murders, an achievement not seen in decades. Driver arrested over fatal ferry hit and run of boy. A driver has been arrested over Monday's fatal hit and run of an 11-year-old boy in Ferry, St. Andrew. Killed was Duran Mackenzie, who lived in the area. Reports are that about 3:02 p.m., the boy was along a roadway when he was hit by a motorist who did not stop. According to reports, passengers of a Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus had disembarked and were attempting to cross the road when the driver of a panel van that was allegedly speeding hit the child. It's reported that the police used the vehicle's license plate to locate the driver, who lives in Portmore, and subsequently take him into custody. He is facing charges of causing death by dangerous driving and leaving the scene of an accident. Commander for the 1st Subdivision of the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, Deputy Superintendent Earl Grant, said speeding is a concern along the roadway, despite the erection of warning signs to indicate the 50-kilometer speed limit and the area being a school zone. DSP Grant said dialogue had previously started with the NWA for the erection of speed bumps. Addressing the issue Tuesday, NWA Communication Manager Stephen Shaw said he was not privy to those discussions, but expects that the agents will be seriously considering the suggestion from the police.
I only heard on the news this morning that conversation about, or that statement about the traffic calming measures. I will have to speak with my colleagues in the planning section as to what they are contemplating or considering in respect of that. The truth is, as the police would have pointed out, it is a 50 km zone. It is not meant to be a racetrack. To the extent that we can implement some measures along the road, I'm sure it is something that we are prepared to do.
Body of missing fisherman recovered off St. Elizabeth Coast. The body of a missing fisherman was recovered by members of the Jamaica Defence Force Maritime Air and Cyber Command of the coast of Crawford, St. Elizabeth on Monday. His identity has not yet been revealed. The JDF Air Wing and Coast Guard reportedly began a thorough investigation to locate the fisherman's body on Sunday. It is believed that the fisherman may have drowned after going for a dive off the coast of Crawford with 2 others. Murders and shootings down 36% in central Kingston. Major crimes are down in the Kingston Central Police Division, with a 36% reduction in murders and shootings. There has also been an overall 16% drop in major crimes. Commanding officer for the division, Senior Superintendent Burswood Williams, revealed the figures while speaking with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on Monday.
Prime Minister.
How are you?
I'm good, sir.
I haven't seen you in a little while.
Yes, sir.
How are things?
Very good, sir.
How are you?
Yes, sir.
Inspector, very good. Inspector, how are you? The last time I was here, you gave me a very good report, a glowing report. I don't know, you can better that report.
We worsened a bit, but we're still in a very good state. So we're enjoying a 36% reduction in murders and shooting. And overall, the crimes are down 16%. Unfortunately, after going 16 months in this particular year, which you know was one of our most challenging years, we had a murder last month.
Yes.
Yeah, a shooting murder. But we have gotten on top of that. What has caused some problem for us, we have had a few unfortunate murders, stabbing murders, which has kind of shown our figures off. But we're still within the targets that we have set.
So you're seeing the impact of reduced organized violence.
Right.
But you're seeing the increased social violence.
Yes, sir.
Which would usually, a feature of that would be the stabbings or...
That's correct. That's correct. We have had, of the 9 murders we have had since here, 3 of them have been attributed to stabbing.
So the public understands. Where is this? Which area is this? Where am I standing? No.
This is Parade Gardens. This is Rum Lane, Parade Gardens generally.
This is within the Central Kingston Police.
Central Kingston Police area. This is within the zone of special operation.
Right, so this is where 2 years ago there was an internecine gang war, meaning that
yes,
there was just killing upon killing upon killing,
murders and shootings. Yes, active gang violence, and we are not seeing that anymore.
And we have gotten on top of that.
Right.
But now the social issues are what would be the cause
giving rise to the challenge.
How are you going to pivot your policing strategies?
All right, so we have already started that, and we have started, but is a way of intensifying that is the intervention from the policing side, the social, the community engagement, the domestic violence workshop, all those things we are pushing at in trying to manage the domestic violence.
Yeah.
So we are having a lot of community engagement, dialogue with all the players and all the communities to ensure that we stay on top of that. Critical is our intervention in the schools.
Yes.
Yes, so we are dealing with that as well, those sort of interventions. So we know that with continued effort like this, we will stay on top of it.
Yeah. Our problem with violence is twofold. There is the organized element, which has a profit motive behind it.
Right, that's correct.
And which uses weapons to secure that profit.
That's correct.
And that is what has plagued us for a long time.
Right.
That is what supports the drug running, the extortion, the scamming,
Right.
the attempt to control territory. All of that is the organized violence.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think the policing strategy that we have is working in that regard. But the social element is a little bit more complex.
Yes, it is.
Because that has to do with, family disputes.
Yes.
I saw a terrible video recently of two neighbors arguing and one pulling a gun.
Right, yeah. Resulting in death. Yeah.
Resulting in death.
Yeah.
Now, these are social issues that some of it stems from, as you have said, the education system.
That's correct.
But it also stems from how people live.
Right.
Their housing conditions and the facilities that they have, the amenities that they have, and that just affects their outlook.
Right.
Makes them more aggressive and unreasonable, and therefore, whenever disputes happen, the only thing that they can use to resolve the dispute is the final solution,
That's
taking someone's life, the ultimate act of violence. And we intend to change that, which is why we're trying to improve housing,
Yes.
change housing conditions, give access to greater amenities and services, and hopefully that will have an impact
That's true.
on how people feel about themselves,
Right.
how they feel about others, how they respect life, and how they seek to resolve things peacefully.
That's correct.
So, it's not all on the police.
Right, that's
and
true.
I know that the focus on dealing with violence, sometimes it can just all be piled onto the police. But the police are a main agent of this change, but not the sole agent of the change. The state and the other state entities do have a role to play. But if we act in concert and act in partnership, we can have an impact, both on the organized violence and on the social violence.
And can you permit me just to
Yes.
say thanks to Team Project Star.
Project Star has done an amazing job.
Amazing job in this community. They have been working with us on all the programs that we can think of. They are working with us and financing that. And we are having serious impact as well.
Excellent.
Yes, sir. Bless you, sir.
Congratulations again to
Thank
you and
sir.
your team.
Yes, sir.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.